What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today I am putting up 10 solar panels onto my house so that I can power everything. I had a small little solar panel set up when I first built this house like 7 years ago. All right, well, 5 years ago I built this house. It cost me $10,000 to build that house. Five years ago. The wall cost me $3,000. The fence I have around it, I'm sure that wall is going to cost me a little bit more now because things are going up, and I'm sure that same house will probably cost me a couple $1,000s more to build, but still probably be around the same the same amount of money roughly, right? But so what I'm doing here is I want to be able to run refrigerator, a freezer, a TV, and air conditioning, all my fans, and plug up all my electronics. I need to everything that I do in America, because right now I just put solar panels up on my house in America. So I have eight solar panels on the top of my house, utilizing that government subsidy program. They put it on your house, you don't pay nothing. My daggone bill is like $47 a month to the solar company, but my Pepco bill was like $7. Right, so it really does work. Solar power is the future, and what I love about Nigeria is they are 100% solar power bound, right? Because of the corruption of the government, because of colonization and the effects of corruption. Politicians never get their projects done in Nigeria because by the time they get things started, it usually takes more than 4, sometimes 8 years to build infrastructure. And when another politician gets in, they don't complete projects. And because of that tit for tat political back and forth with the political parties, the people suffer because they don't get projects done that were already slated to be done, the money allocated, and then everything just disappears in the wind. So what people are doing, they're empowering themselves with solar power. So everybody's going to solar. Even though there's a grid there's a grid, but we all know the power companies in Africa, they're corrupt. Right, and they don't work, and people have to suffer without having 24-hour power. So not me. I'm not suffering for nothing, right? I was actually fine with the solar I had on there. It only cost me $800 for the package I had before, and it was simply like 3 small solar panels with 1 deep battery. This is 10 very large solar panels with 4 deep batteries, and that is all. And you're talking about a place that is always sunny all the time, all year round. So I have free power. So once you do this, you have free power, and guess how much it costs? First, I'm gonna tell you, if I were to do the same thing in America, let's say we pay for it, because before the solar panel companies would charge you at least $20,000-$30,000 for the setup, and then they would tell you, oh, you got an $8,000 tax credit or something like that. And I wasn't jumping on it when they was knocking on my door every 5 minutes trying to get me to set up a solar panel on my roof, simply so a company can use my house along with the neighborhood as a power grid for their own personal company, and making me pay for it or making me pull out a loan for it. That wasn't happening, right? But now that they have the Osimta, where I don't have, they gave me a new roof, and I'm talking about in America. Now in the DMV, I got a new roof. And I got the 8 solar panels put on there, and the government paid for it because there's a tax incentive, because the government is subsidizing solar panels, so I don't have to pay for it because the government wants everybody to switch over. Corporations are starting to creating grids on top of people's houses, so it benefited me. I don't have to pay for anything. Got a new roof, got solar panels, my bill's lower, and the corporations get their power grid and all that stuff. Win-win situation. But in Africa, I can't rely on the government to facilitate such programs. I don't rely on the government to do anything, right? So when you go to Africa, you got to empower yourself. You just got to build all the things up front that you need to make yourself comfortable, right? Especially when you're going out to these rural areas where there's not a network of underground pipes that's been there for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. There's not a network of electrical poles running throughout, communities. And just like in America, there's plenty of rural areas in America that don't have they're in the same situation as rural areas in Africa, and in rural areas pretty much anywhere around the world. Rural areas, because they are a place where it's mostly still more of a nature. It's still what do you say? It's still natural, right? It hasn't been turned into a concrete jungle, right? So because of that, just like in the country, you go to North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Kentucky, Utah, Idaho, pretty much most of America, They don't even have broadband and Wi-Fi signal. They don't have any of that stuff out there in them countrysides where them people live. But and so the same thing happens in Africa when people who live in the cities and they live in the metropolitan areas don't invest in the countryside, and that goes for pretty much every country on the planet. So if you're gonna move out to the country to be like a farmer, especially if you're in the agricultural tip, you got to make sure you go out there and you have to set everything up front. Set everything. All your money will be spent. All your capital will be spent setting up your foundation, setting up your house, your compound, buying your land, fixing those things you have to do for yourself, providing your own power, maybe shipping your own vehicle over there. You know, it may be costly, but it actually might be cheaper to ship a vehicle over there than to buy a vehicle over there, because vehicles are very cheap, are very expensive over there, because they're being bought in American auctions and they're being put in containers sent to Nigeria, and they're being sold for triple the price because they have to pay all the duty fees and tariffs and all sorts of things, right? So certain things are cheaper over there. Certain things are cheaper to buy in America and then ship over there, right? So you see, I got these solar panels, right? And I'm owning them. And guess how much it costs, right? Because I've been talking for 6 minutes. Guess how much 10 solar panels and 4 deep batteries that's going to be able to power my freezer, my refrigerator, my air conditioning, my TV, all my fans, and everything else I want. $2,500. $2,500. That is the total cost. And we're talking about labor, installation, material, everything. $2,500. And I'm also simultaneously still dealing with the catfish farm that's still under construction. I'm also building on a new house that I bought in the neighborhood that I'm going to be moving into once I finish building that. All right, you know, so I'm doing a whole bunch of things at one time, but I like to show you little things so you're like, yeah, well, how much would it cost to power a whole house, to have everything I need for comfortability? Because, you know, we're gonna need it. The air conditioning is important. Let me tell you something. All right, I like hot weather like Ness person, but god damn it, I need my damn air conditioning. All right, it will make things much better. All right, so $2,500 will facilitate that, and I won't have to worry about how do I charge up all my items when I'm leaving my base, which is my compound, and going out and about, because I already have plenty of huge battery packs that I take there. You know, the battery charger thingamajiggies. So I take a whole bunch of those every time I go, so I can just have endless amount of redundant power. I bring what I need, right? So I can do what I have to do. So, and I know a lot of other African Americans in Africa are doing the same thing. This is just an example. I'm just showing you, you know, and I always keep these guys busy, bro. I'm telling you, for 5 years, I've been consistently employing Nigerians, and they have been working since I've been in Nigeria. Every month I've had employees working and doing things for me on my behalf, utilizing my business partners. You know, I got trusted business partners. I got a lot of trusted business partners I can trust with my money, which is very hard to do. And since it's hard to do, you know, you have to be very careful about who you're dealing with when you're doing any type of business in any place that you go to. You know, all rules apply when socializing and doing business with human beings. You know, it's not as complicated as you think, even though there may be a language barrier sometimes, but in the case of Nigeria, there's no language barrier. There may be an accent barrier for those that are not good at accents, but in case of Nigeria, it shouldn't be a problem, you know, because they speak well enough English for any person, even if they're not good with picking up accents, can handle. All right, so it shouldn't be an issue. Doing business in Nigeria is pretty, when everything's going smooth, it's actually pretty simple to understand. It's very similar to the way we do business in America, you know, give or take a few different differences, you know, but as far as contracts and how things read, how things go, it's pretty much the same. So yeah, just giving you guys a little insight, just in case some of you are thinking about Nigeria and you're thinking about, damn, how much does it cost to do something like this? Well, now you know, because I'm telling you, all right, it's in Nigeria. So I'm pretty sure it's probably cheaper in some places, more expensive in other places in Africa, but I'm pretty sure it's relatively similar, you know, around the same range of prices, which is much cheaper than America. But anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Just Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach something. I'm out.